really because I want to lean on the side of like, I'm never betting against this dude. I'm never betting against the guy who runs the way he runs, that plays the way he plays, that leaves it all on the field every single down. Not every game, every down. He leaves it all on the field. Welcome into the draft profile for Cameron Skattebo, running back out of Arizona State. And I mean, this is he's probably the most fun player to watch that I've watched so far in the draft profile videos that I've been doing. I can't get over how, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. 5'11", 210 pounds, transfers out of Sacramento State after 2 years of Sacramento, transfers to Arizona State, and just, I mean, had some issues in his first year at Arizona State and then just blows up last year. And by issues, I mean, he had to cut down to kind of work on speed in the offseason. That was a big, like, talking point you heard a lot. And there's a lot of conversations about Skattebo. I think he's one of the more talked about players in the draft cycle right now. I think a lot of people are really excited about him. A little bit of controversy just because people are questioning what type of guy he is, and I guess, look, I'm adding my voice to that conversation in this video. But man, I do just want to take a step back from that conversation and just say, how cool is this story? Like Cameron Skattebo is what's great about college football. It's what's great about the connection between college football and the NFL. I mean, the historic rise of Cameron Skattebo in this season has been incredible. And you see that all the time. I get that. You do. But from a national perspective, not a lot of guys. I mean, look, Arizona State wasn't a good football team. Let's start there. They weren't. But Skattebo's their team, and they somehow win their conference, make it into the playoffs with this weird-ass seeding system. So they get the bye. They pull Texas, and they give Texas a run for their money by doing what everyone knew they were going to do. Just running the ball with Skattebo. And that's not to mention the awesome championship game where he just destroyed Iowa State. Like, it was just a one-man show of how great he is and how impressive of a player he is. And look, I'm kind of getting into the weeds, but it's just like I was watching him play and just appreciating kind of the essence of who he was, because this wasn't a guy that I was aware of as a draft guy, as somebody who takes pride in following the draft at a pretty close level. I really wasn't aware of him until, the second half of the season, probably later into the second half of the season. So going back and looking at the film, like, I watched more film on Skattebo than I have on any other player that I've done a profile on, just because I enjoyed it. Just because I legitimately felt like I was good, and then made myself I don't have an old-fashioned right now because I don't drink on weekdays, but made myself an old-fashioned and just watched a really great running back be really great in college. And now the question is, how good can he be in the NFL? I've seen people say he's, top 3 back in this class, and I've seen people say, no, he's a late round guy, and, there's questions about the explosiveness. Look, let's get into it. I'm going to pull up my skill chart right now, and we'll break it down. All right, first thing we have to talk about when we look at this skill chart, contact balance at a 7.9, his highest grade, is elite. It's elite. And I put contact balance at a 7.9, and I put breaking tackles at a 7.9. I usually don't do that. Usually there's a lot more nuance in the way I grade these things. But for Skattebo, it's just incredible. His ability to break tackles, his ability to just bounce off defenders is the cornerstone of who this guy is. It's what he's going to be. He is a one-cut, north-south runner. That's who he's going to be in the NFL. And his contact balance and breaking tackle, it's just the way he runs is just different. He runs with a level of fury and a level of just, you will not bring me down, of willpower almost, that you just don't see. And you can just tell. I think that's why a lot of people love him. I think that's why he's kind of created a little bit of like a following in this, draft world or in this football world where, the average fan is a big fan of Skattebo. Like, I think, there's a lot of guys that just loved him in college, and wherever he goes in the NFL, he's going to have fans. I think his jersey's going to sell really well, regardless of where he goes in the draft or anything like that. because of just the way he runs. You can see the passion for the game in the way he runs. And just, if you're a fan of football, if you grew up in this world the way I did and the way a lot of my friends did, I think there's a level of respect that you have for that guy. Moving on to his vision, another grade. Look, 7 and above is an elite grade for me. I gave him an elite grade for vision. That is the highest grade I've ever given a running back for vision in my scale, because it's really hard to say you have elite vision. Like, you can always find 1 or 2 spots where I felt like they made the wrong move. I just don't see that for Skattebo. While he does run with a passion, and that's going to be the hallmark of who he is, I don't think he's going to get enough credit for his vision and his patience. I think those are incredible traits. And look, right there, if you tell me you have a guy who has incredible contact balance, runs with great vision and patience, and breaks a shit ton of tackles in the college level, I'm sold. Right there, that's pretty much the most important things that I need. Then it is, okay, how explosive is he? What is his athletic profile? Those are going to be the real questions that say, okay, are you a top tier running back in this class, or are you kind of lower down? And then, of course, agility at a 5.3, another grade where it's like, yeah, he's got enough wiggle to do what he does. He's got enough wiggle to play the way he plays, which is just naturally that, I'm going to run through you. And I'll run past you if I have to, but I'd rather run through you. That's just who he is as a person, I think. And then power at a 5.8. This is probably the grade that I struggled the most with. I really went back and forth on where I kind of want to put it, even just in a realm, right? Like, because I have contact balance and breaking tackles is such a high grade. But power for me, I really try to project that to the NFL. So I couldn't project it to an elite power back in the NFL, because he's not going to be an elite power back in the NFL. He's not big enough. That's not his body type. So I couldn't give him an elite grade. And as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know how well this translates. It's a question mark. And then last thing I really want to talk about is his burst at a 5.3. Another thing, I really like his initial burst. I really do. I don't think that he explodes after contact particularly well. I mean, not bad by any means. This is a positive grade, by the way. It's not a negative grade, but we're talking average as opposed to, above average. And with the conversation around Skattebo, if you think that he's a, second round guy, if you think he's in the same conversation as all the other top running backs in this class, then yeah, maybe you would have this grade a little bit higher than I do. In the NFL, when a guy misses a tackle, he slows the running back down, and then he's got a lot of friends that are coming, and they're really fast and really big, and they're probably going to get there a little bit faster than guys in the Big 12 did, right? So these are all just aspects of the conversation that I think have to be brought up. That's why I love looking at players with a skill chart, because it breaks down everything, and I can say, yeah, you're really good at this and really good at this, but I don't know about this or this, right? And that's what we're talking about here with Skattebo. But yeah, that's what I have for Skattebo. That is Skattebo as a whole. I hope I did a good job of kind of giving you the full picture of who Skattebo is as a player, and kind of trying to marry the two sides of the internet, or that view Skattebo in different ways. I've seen him in the first round. I've seen him in the late fourth round as far as projections. So I know it's a really wide, net as far as the way people view him. And I definitely sit kind of in the middle, I think, of those two projections. I think day 2 makes the most sense for me. That's about where I'm at with him. And I'm torn, because I think more of me is kind of on the side of, No, don't overthink it. Look at the way he runs. Look at the way he plays. He's going to be great. He's going to be an RB1 in the NFL. He's going to be a Christian McCaffrey type guy in the NFL. That's I think what I want to say. That's what I'm leaning towards. But then there is the side of me, just the talent evaluator side, that takes a lot of pride in watching the film and making my grade based on the film and taking everything into account. I take pride in that, and there is a part of me that's like, he's not Christian McCaffrey. He doesn't have the athletic profile of Christian McCaffrey, at least I don't think on screen, which is why the combine's going to matter. The combine is going to matter, I think, for his ultimate draft stock. I think it's going to be a lot. The college football playoffs mattered a lot for his draft stock, and I think this will too. But I can say that about a lot of guys. And look, as of recording this, the combine's in a couple weeks. I easily could have waited to do this video after the combine, and had a little bit better of a assessment on what that athletic profile is. And I could have maybe been a little bit more contrite in my arguments about him as a player. But I didn't do that for Skattebo because I don't care. I think the NFL will care. I think teams will put a lot on that, because there are definitely questions when you watch the film. There's definitely a level of concern, or I think there will be for NFL teams. But for me, I don't think it matters. I think it's just he's going to be good wherever he goes. Now, it'll affect his draft stock. And, if you're watching this after he was drafted, and I obviously don't know, I'm guessing, I'm projecting that he's going to be late second, third round type of range. I think that's about where I think he's going to go. Running backs don't normally get drafted in the first round. There's probably going to be 2, maybe 3, based on how this draft goes. It's not the strongest draft, and the running backs position is one of the strongest positions in the draft. So maybe if 3 go in the first, which would be wild, Skattebo goes a little bit earlier. But regardless, wherever he goes, I don't care. I think he's going to be great in the NFL. I think he'll be a fan favorite, and I think he will be a highlight reel type of player. I believe in the human. I believe in the person, and he shows out on field every single down. And he just, I don't know how anybody bets against a guy like Skattebo. I certainly am not. And regardless of what the combine says, I'm rooting for him. I hope he blows it out of the fucking water and just puts all the doubt to rest, even me, even some of the negative things that I've said in this video. Shut me the fuck up, shut everybody the fuck up, and go be a top tier second round pick type guy, or possibly first round pick. I'm rooting for that level of success for him. But who cares? Who gives a shit if you're drafted in the first round or the 8th round? Wherever it is, go prove it on the field, and that's what he's been best at throughout his entire college career. And yeah, I believe it in at the next level as well. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments. It means a lot to me if you comment and either show some love or show some criticism, whatever it is, just any kind of thoughts. It helps the algorithm too, so that does mean a lot. Like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff means a lot as well. Hey, I'm hopefully building something here. I really believe in the NFL draft. I love the NFL draft. That's what this channel is. So if you are a fan of that and you want to follow these guys 24/7, 365 days a year, that's what this channel is supposed to be, and that's what I'm trying to do with it. Thank you so much for watching. Peace. Cameron Skattebo. 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 Cameron Skattebo. Cameron Skattebo.